Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. You know the name.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin.
With Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Riffin with Griffin.
With Griffin.
What's up, y'all? We back again. Telling you about my week. I got some stuff I want to talk about, plus real world advice from a grown-ass man. I got some good questions this week, so I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're still listening. I'm glad you're still watching. So let's see what we can do this week, and I want to make it a regular thing. Somebody finally sent a video in, so along with the text questions, I got a video, but I just want to thank everybody for listening to Riffin with Griffin.
With Griffin, yeah.
Son.
Riffin with Griffin.
Yeah. Rippin' with Griffin. All right, we're back, y'all. We back at it again. I had a nice week. Nothing too crazy. I had this drive-in theater show put on by the Irvine Improv down at the Irvine Spectrum, and they did like this sort of drive-in comedy show on the roof of the parking lot with this big screen projecting, just like a drive-in, projecting, and everybody was listening to the show on their AM radio frequency, and you could hear the laughter. The windows were down, and it was you could sort of. It wasn't the same, Nothing could duplicate being in a crowded club where people are on top of each other and everybody's laughing, and it's such a communal experience. It's hard to duplicate that, but that's what we're trying to do. So I do commend them for at least trying to make the comics feel like they're still comics, and then the people that are in the comedy business make themselves feel like, yeah, we're still in the comedy business, but we're still putting on shows. Excuse me, but it was weird, and I was rusty as hell. Man, I didn't realize how rusty I was. I mean, if you think about it, it's been like 5-6 months since I've actually done comedy at a high level where I was in the pocket. I knew what I was talking about. It was pow, 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 pow. I felt myself like, damn, what are my jokes and what am I talking about and how do I talk about it? I mean, doing comedy is not like riding a bike. I mean, you have to stay with it. You have to stay committed and work on it every single day. Something. It's not just writing. It's just about the act of performing. And so things are different now. So it's just trying to figure out, who I am. I mean, I've done a couple of shows. I did this one rooftop show a couple weeks ago, and that one was fine too. And I did that one show in the Valley, but it was like my first time back. And it was such a weird environment. But this one was one that felt more like this was a show that we're doing. Like we're putting on a show, like some sort of regular thing that they're going to do. And I just felt ill prepared. I just felt like, damn, who am I? So, it was weird. So we'll see. It's like the thing that gets me about it. And I was talking to Jesus Trejo about this because he was on the show too, and I said to him, I was like, it's cool to do the show, but it almost is detrimental to your attitude, to your well-being, because this ain't normal. We're just teasing ourselves, so here's a show with a bunch of people and we feel like, oh man, but it's just a tease. Are we going to do this normally? Is the world going to get back to normal, or what is the new normal going to be? And so when I experience a show like that and I'm sitting there and feeling those good feelings and vibes, I start to think, well, damn, what is this really? And will it ever be the same? I'd like to think that it will, but it was weird. So weird. Relationship update. Things are going well with my girlfriend, Rachel. She did something the other day that I just wanted to talk about on my podcast that was it was real cool. And it was it's hard to explain, but early on in our relationship, she gets really jealous of things and maybe insecure about, I think we all do this. If somebody is upset about something and they might say something and the person thinks it's all about them. So they think and you're in your head about are you saying that because you don't think I'm good enough, or you think it's my fault, or did I do something wrong? And that's what happens in the beginning of a relationship, because you don't know each other's language. You don't know each other. You don't know why when we get upset, you don't know what the reasons why the other person gets upset. So you oftentimes just blame yourself, right? So we were kind of like that, especially her. She's very much like that. But she's so different now that she just gets me, you know? So now, like, I'm a emotional guy. I fly off the handle about the dumbest things, you know? Like, if I'm looking for something and I'm like, I'll be like, damn it, where's that cord, you know? So now Rachel steps in and she says, like, hey, do you have to be that upset about the cord? You know, it's not that serious, you know? I don't think, you know, maybe take it down a notch. Maybe it's like, oh, I can't find the cord. Does it have to be so demonstrative? And, you know, I looked at her and I was thinking to myself, wow, this is her really caring about me. This is her being like, okay, I see that you're getting upset. You don't need to be that upset. It's not that serious. Maybe only let yourself get this angry like 3 times a week, she said to me. You only get 3 times to be this angry and make sure they're important, you know? And it just really touched me, you know, because I was like, oh, you really get me. You know, you really understand what makes me tick and what and that I need that. I need someone to be like, she's making me better, is what I'm saying. You know, she really like took that time and not made it about her. Like it wasn't about how she felt about my being angry or how it bothered her. And obviously it does, like when you're a demonstrative person and then the other person's like, whoa, this is a little bit much. But she took the approach of being like, hey, this is a little bit much for me too. Like she did it for me. Like, you don't need to be this angry about something so silly. And it just really, like, I took a pause, you know, because I'm always in my head about these kinds of things. And I love seeing these little, the growth and the, you know, how the relationship evolves. And that's what it really is about, is when you evolve to a point where, you know, you don't have these personal feelings about what's happening. You can literally see the other person's perspective and be like, oh, they're going through this. I've seen this before. I know what's happening with them. Maybe I can help alleviate some of the stress and anguish that they're feeling, and they'll be better. And then in turn, our interaction will be better. It's just all that kind of thought process just made me like really, you know, happy. I found myself, I was getting all teary eyed because, you know, and it's like, cause I'm in my head. You look at me, I'm in my head about it because I see the calculation. I can see the growth. I can see the pieces moving, you know, that's just how my brain works. It's like, that's how, when you're a comic, how you put together material, because you have to see like, okay, this can make people feel this. They feel this way. You're moving the emotions that way to make them feel this. So I just see things like that. So when I see some like real growth and improvement in myself and in my relationship, I just go, man, that's great. So, you know, good relationship update. Some other nonsense happened. You know, I bought this new mixer for my podcast. I mean, I'm using for you nerds out there, you tech nerds, this tech nerd moment. It's like, so I got an H6 Zoom that I use, but I use it for a USB interface. That just means that I plug it into USB, and now the computer itself can see the different tracks. It can see track 1, track 2. So it's a 6-track mixer. So when you use an audio interface, that means you can use like software on your computer to like record from that onto your computer, and you can have different tracks. So let's say I want to have like my voice on one track, I can have music on another track, right? But the H6 is limited. So when I plug it in USB interface and I plug things into it, sometimes some devices, there's a buzz. You know, like my monitor. So like for my podcast, for the gaming, which is Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch, I do it daily. I have I have the headphones from the monitor hooked up to the H6 Zoom, so I can hear that. I can hear when I'm playing, even though the out to Twitch, it's a different line. But anyways, there's a buzz, a hum coming from the monitor when I have it plugged into this thing. So I said, let me get a new mixer. Let me get just a new one. So it's like on my desk. It's got like 8 tracks, right? So when it comes, it has a weird USB hook connection. So it's like male to male. So you need 2-sided male to male USB cord. So I go buy one from Best Buy because I live near a Best Buy, and it doesn't work. So I get on with the company's website, and they have this thing. It says 24-hour technical support. So I get into the chat. I go, hey, I'm having a problem setting up, the USB interface. This fool is like, okay, well, that's beyond what we talk about here. I need to get your information. And we'll forward this to the technical department. I'm like, what? What do you mean forward to the technical department? This is 24-hour technical support. So why aren't you? Who are you? What are you doing? Like, what questions can they actually answer? So you call, you hit up this company on the chat, and they don't know shit. I'm like, what are you talking about, right? So then I'm that kind of guy. I get into it with people about these kinds of things. Like, and I know I shouldn't, but sometimes I just do. Like, just side note, I remember I went to GameStop. I'm going to GameStop. Some young kid is working there. I had bought like a used whatever it was, right? I bought a used device, like a controller or something from there. I forgot what it was, but I just never forget this interaction though. So I bought the used controller, and then I'm bringing it back, and I'm going, yeah, this doesn't work. And then the kid behind the counter is like, yeah, that's not our responsibility, because the people that sold it to us, it was broken when they sold it to us, and so it's not our responsibility. I was like, are you crazy? Do you hear yourself? No. You sold it to me. It is your responsibility to make sure. And he just wouldn't let it go. Like, this kid was like, no, no. I could tell he just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, right? Manager comes over, and I'm one of these types that I got to be like, no. We're going to get this right. This kid needs to know what the hell is going on. And I'm Mr. Analogy. So I tell the kid, I go, look, if this was a restaurant and you got some meat from a butcher, the meat was spoiled, and you served it to your customers, that's on you, okay? You can't come out from the kitchen talking about, oh, was that meat spoiled? Well, we can't do anything about that. That's not our fault. The butcher sold us that. So if you need the butcher's number to go complain, no. You are responsible for the merchandise that you sell, Manager comes over, and so I had this talk, and I'm trying to be calm, because that's the worst thing you could possibly do. Listen, when you out at customer service and you having an issue, if you act up, if you acting like whatever, that's good. You give them a reason to bow out of this, because it's like, sir, you need to calm down. If you're like that, then they got you. But if you come at them like, yes, your employee is mistaken about how this works. Let me explain what he just said, and let's figure out how we can make sure he gets it right next time. Like, if you could be like that, that is more motherfucker than anything you could possibly do, man. So anyways, cut to now, I'm in this situation, all right? And, this person's telling me like, well, if there's anything that we could do to make our, our support better, we would love any suggestions. Thank you for hitting us up. And I go, yeah. I write the guy back. I go, the technical support should be for technical support. How about the person on the other end, you know how to work the machines that you're selling, that you're talking about. It literally says technical support. So, sorry, sir. We can't help you right now, sir. But I have your email, and I'm going to refer. Of course, they didn't get back to me. You know what I mean? Of course, I still don't know what the hell's going on. So next thing I do is I go to Amazon, because now I'm thinking, I bought this from Amazon. So now I'm thinking, you know what? I gotta give this back. I'm thinking to myself, I gotta send it back, because it's not what I want. Right? So so Amazon has an area of technical support. You could go and it says, do you need support with this device that you just bought? They have a little area for that. So I click that and go, oh, wow, maybe they can help me. So I say like, yes, I'm having some trouble with the USB interface. I need some help with this, Then they go, would you like to return the device, or would you like a refund? Would you want to return and get another one? Do you want a refund? I go, what I want is technical support. Motherfucker says it again. Do you want do you want to return it? I go, fine. Give me my money back. So then the person goes, all right, here, okay, we're going to issue a refund, and don't bother sending the device back. What? I mean, in my mind, I was like, really? So I basically got a free mixer from Amazon. And but the problem is, this shit still don't work properly. So I'm still stuck in a situation where now I got this mixer I didn't pay for, but that I got for free, but it's not working the way I want it to work. Like, it's like, so like, but Amazon is such a big company. They make so much money that it's like, it's easy for them. Like when you have some product that's under $500, they just look at cost assessment and just go, you know what, here's a refund. And then, keep it and deal with it yourself and leave us alone. And I'm like, damn, is that where we're at? Like, is that where we're at in society? Like, I can't get this shit to work the way I want it to work. Like, that's all I wanted. I still want it to work properly, right? But I just thought, wow, how much money is Amazon making? Obviously a lot, because the dude is the richest man in the world, right? But it's like, damn. So that's the crazy situation that happened with my that's going on with my technical support. All right, so I had the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Let me go to the picture. So let me show you guys the picture right now. So this girl, she's beat up, 17. She works at Chillis in like Baton Rouge. She worked at a Chillis in Baton Rouge. Okay, so let me just say that again. It's Baton Rouge and it's a Chillis. Okay. She tells these two women in the picture, and I think others, hey, she's just trying to enforce no mask, no service, and they beat her ass. They beat up this 17-year-old girl because they didn't want to wear masks, or they were like, you don't tell us what to, I don't even know all the story about what happened. I just know that that's the story that they put out. Like, damn. Like, this is where we're at. I hate wearing a mask. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's uncomfortable. I can't stand it. In the same way I don't like wearing seatbelts. Sometimes the shit is uncomfortable, but you do it for health and safety. I mean, like I prefer not even to go out sometimes because I don't want to wear a mask. I hate breathing through the mask. It's just, it's the worst. Like when I go to the market with Rachel, like she wants to browse. And I'm like, could you get what you want to get so we can get the hell out of here? Because I just don't want to be in there that long. So you going out to dinner. First of all, this is the thing that really, okay, here's the ignorant ass part about this too. And by the way, I understand both sides of this scenario. So you go to a restaurant, right? When you walk up to the restaurant, they want you to have a mask on. But when you go sit down at the table that you're sitting at, you could take your mask off because you're going to eat. You're right there eating. So yes, devil's advocate, I understand if you're like, I'm about to take this mask off. We walk in like 15 feet and then my mask is going to come off anyway. Like what's going on here? Okay. You just go a little step further though. You think, well, if you have to walk by people who are eating food, maybe they don't want your funky breath or your while you talking, some spit will come out of your mouth and fly into somebody's ribs. Okay? So yeah. They want you to wear a mask. But I get that it's like, this is a lot. It's silly, but you have to understand. So for these people, the other side of it is like, you're about to be able to take your mask off. What the fuck does it matter? Just put the mask on, walk over to the table of 7, wherever you guys are sitting, then you take the mask off and you're fine. What is going on that you have to beat this girl up? Some kid? I mean, damn. By the way, if you need to wear a mask anywhere, it's Chillis. Okay, obviously, it's Chillis. So this ain't, we not at Ruth Chris. You understand? We not at like the best steakhouse in LA. This ain't Ocean Prime. We at Chillis. So when you go to Chillis, you damn sure you want to wear a mask. Because I don't know the people that go to Chillis. I don't know where people have been or what people are doing. You're out in public now. We don't know what's going on, especially when there's food involved and mouths are open and smacking. It's like, yes, let's make sure that we stay safe in this environment, even when we're trying to like provide a service and feel some normalcy of sitting down and eating and with your friends and family. But damn, I don't know if I ever want to go to a place where I feel like some nonsense like this can go down. This is like when you play blackjack. When you go to Vegas and you're playing blackjack. I don't know if you guys play blackjack, but like I don't go to the $10 blackjack table. You know why? Because at the $10 blackjack table, there'll be somebody at the table that won't stay on a 16 when the dealer's showing that they have to hit. I don't go to the $10 table because because you're gonna see somebody making a choice where you go, yo, dude, let's play the math as a table. You about to mess up the whole hand. That's a 12. You're supposed to stay. It's like a 15. You stay again on a 15 if the dealer's showing a 3, because chances are it's gonna be a number that's gonna make the dealer bust. I mean, that's just the basic math. So blackjack people, they know that. So I don't go to the $10 table, because I've been at the table where I've been like, yo, can you please hit that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, bitch, I'll give you $10. Here's 10. You won. Hit the shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't go to the $10 table. I like to go to the $25, the $50 table, because the people there, they serious about what's happening, because they got $50 on the line per hand, right? That's how I feel about Chillis. Chillis is a $10 table. So when you go to the $10 table, you're going to get people making $10 decisions. So, hey, I think it was ridiculous that this kind of stuff is happening, not just at this Chillis, but it's happening all over the place, where people feel like their rights are being infringed on. Like, you don't tell me to wear a mask. I get it. Wearing a mask is bullshit. I hate it. But there's a reason for it. It helps not spread this fucking virus, and it keeps other people safe. So, I mean, why make such a big deal out of it? It's not like we're asking people to it's like we have to make everybody shave their fucking head, Like, let's say it was like lice spreading all over the country, and we go, you got to shave your head. It's like, well, okay, we're not asking you to shave your head. We just say, hey, can you cover your mouth? We say this anyway. Even before the virus came about, it was like, please don't cough or sneeze. We just naturally cover our mouth. Who's going to be the motherfucker that's like, nah, hatcha, you don't tell me to cover my mouth. We're like this anyway. If you're in a movie theater and a motherfucker sneezes 3 rows away, you're kind of looking at this person like, yo, cover your fucking mouth, sneezy. So I don't know. We really got to work on this. I mean, it's just weird ass behavior, in the country right now about this. I don't know. What else is happening in the world? Here's some other things that Rachel hit me to. Now, this is weird. Like, I don't know. You don't know you need a tongue scraper until you use a tongue scraper, and then you're like, what the fuck is that came off my tongue? Now, I have like a tongue brush, and I don't use it enough. I'm going to be honest. You know what I mean? I don't know what y'all can judge me all you want. I know most of y'all looking right now are like, a tongue scraper. Most of y'all don't even, you just brush your teeth. Maybe you but like, you need a tongue scraper. So this is what it looks like. There's a picture of it right there. A tongue scraper. You hold it and you just like scrape your tongue. And you'd be surprised how much nastiness comes off that. And it just makes your mouth fresher. And, I don't know. It's just it's like one of those things you need to just add to your routine of brushing your teeth and flossing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I hate flossing too. Like, flossing is so, but so I don't like flossing with dental floss. I like to use those hook things with the string in the middle, where you could just like put it in between your teeth. You make a thing of it. So that's another thing Rachel added to my thing. But I went to the dentist. Like, we had this bet, like, because she thought I had like a bunch of cavities and I was going to be in trouble because you never floss. But I went to the dentist, and the dentist was like, you'll never get a cavity. Your teeth are perfect. You're fine. So, I strutted back in like, yeah, girl, what was you talking about with my teeth? But still, he said the most important thing. He said the dentist was like, flossing is even more important than brushing your teeth, So, all right, so I added that to the routine. But I just want to throw it out there to people. Like, if you don't have a tongue scraper, you should get one. And then, because I tell you, that first time you do a tongue scraper, at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, ugh, what the hell was that? Another in the plus column of Rachel helping me out in life, right? All right, guys, you know what time it is now, because I got a lot of good ones today, so I'm going to put those on, get going with it. And this is, once again, real world advice from a grown-ass man. All right, we're here. So I got some good ones. This week. So, let's just get right into it. This one was, Any advice for someone who's afraid to take the leap and bet on themselves? Well, I mean, this is a tough thing anyway, but this just goes overall about like having goals. You set goals for yourself, and then to achieve those goals, just work backwards. So if you write down like, I want to achieve such and such, I want to achieve this, and then you look at that and go, well, how do you achieve that? Well, there's steps that you have to take. So that's the next step in writing down your goals, is writing down, how do I achieve those goals? And that's how you build confidence in who you are and what you're doing. So like, if I had to give you examples, like, so being a comedian is like, how do you be a comedian? It's like you have to write jokes. You have to go perform those jokes, but you also have to perform them all the time. You have to practice. You have to get good at it. You have to learn your point of view. There's so many check boxes that you have to check off before you can say, oh man, I'm a real comedian. So if you find yourself looking at the list and checking off all those things, then you're going to have confidence in your ability, because you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to try to achieve these goals, and you're going to take all the steps to achieve those goals. So if you're afraid, if you're afraid of taking a chance, it's because it's so big and daunting to you, because you're saying like, I want to do this. And then you're thinking about like, well, I'm not that yet. So what am I going to do in the meantime? Well, that's the planning. That's the like, take a breath, take a step, and again, plan it out, see what you have to do, check your finances, make sure everything's in gear, be practical, be sensible. Take a chance, take a risk, but make sure you have everything set up. Once you start having that stuff, you're going to start having confidence in your choices and decisions, and then boom, there you go. You're going to take a swing and take a chance. You know what? You might fail, but if you do it right, even if you fail, you've set yourself up that you've at least added something to your repertoire. You've added something to like who you are as a person, or even your skill set to try to achieve whatever this goal is. So bet on yourself by improving yourself by, you know what I mean? Just think of it like sports. Just think of sports, man. If I said, if you said to yourself, I want to play in the NBA, well, you already know, like, it's like, well, you have to have a certain level of talent in the first place. You have to have height. You have to have athletic ability. Let's say you have all that. Well, what's the next step? Okay, well, you have to practice every day. You got to work on your shots. You see these guys, they take 10,000 shots at practice, and they're like shooting until they get it right. So you can understand that, like, if I shot a ball 1,000 times, and then towards the end of that 1,000, it starts to really go in good, I'm going to now have confidence in my ability. So now I go, oh, you know what? I'm ready to take that shot in the game. But I can't just go from like doing nothing to like, I'm sitting at the Clipper game, and all of a sudden Doc Rivers is like, Griffin, not Blake, Erik Griffin, row 7. You're getting in. I'll be like, what? I'm getting in the game? Well, I'm not ready. So then you're gonna feel afraid, and I'm gonna be like, I'm not ready for this situation. But life doesn't work like that. So just work on it. All right, here we go. I'm 34 years old. Do you think it's too late to go back to school? I had my first kid recently. Well, I mean, again, this is just like the other question in a sense of like, you're already thinking of the end result. You're already thinking about, God, do I have enough time to do this? Am I good enough to do this? You're already doubting yourself in a question like this. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can go to school at any time as long as you have, if you have the means, if your bills are taken care of. And right now, the way the world is, it's going to be a lot of homeschooling anyway, even from the most prestigious colleges. So I don't believe in the concept of you don't have time to do stuff. I can't stand when people say that. You go, hey, can you hang out? Well, I don't have time. There's no such thing. You have time. You always make time for the things that are important to you. You find a way to make that thing happen. So with this, it's never too late. Even if you have a kid, it's like, then you have to start thinking about, okay, so what is my kid going to do when I'm doing this? So then you're planning it out. You have to think about babysitting. Do you have a family support system of people that can help you take care of your kid while you're doing this? You have to make time to study. In the same way that you have to make time to work out. At the same time, you make time to do hobbies. Do you make time for dating? You make time to watch your favorite television shows. You just have to prioritize that this is important to you, and you can make it happen. The fact that you're 34, the fact that you have a kid means nothing. Those are just the excuses that we put in our way to stop us from achieving our goals and dreams, or at least making the effort to achieve our goals and dreams. So put yourself out there and stop doubting yourself, and just plan it out. You got to plan. Be smart, be practical, and plan, and you can make it happen. 2 kids with wife. Been together 13 years. We aren't happy. Stay together for the kids? Ooh, this one's tough. I had a buddy of mine. I know that his parents did that. You know, they, as soon as they were adults, all the kids were adults, their parents got divorced so late in their lives, you know. But then you hear about the issues that him and his siblings have with their parents and each other. I don't think it works. You know, when people say they're going to stay together for the kids, it's like acting as if the kids don't know something's wrong. Like the kids, people act like the kids are going to, you know, not see, like, you know, y'all really never talk. Y'all seem to fight, or y'all seem to like not want to be in the same room. I mean, kids are intuitive to these kinds of things. Like that's a learned behavior. So they're going to learn, oh, they see this is how people are supposed to love each other. So if you want to do anything for the kids, heal your relationship with your wife. You know, try to rekindle that magic that made you guys want to be together and have 2 kids. Sometimes life gets in the way. You know, we let financial pressure get in the way of our happiness. We don't follow our dreams. Sometimes it seems as if having kids derails your fantasies, dreams, and hopes also. So then and then you guys blame each other for that. Like, you got pregnant and we wanted to do this. And she's like, you got me pregnant and I never got to do. So y'all blaming each other. Maybe it's time to like take a breath and just be like, hey, can we heal this relationship? Not for the kids, for you, for each other. Because you want to really represent a happy, healthy home so those kids can achieve that themselves too. Because trust me, they know y'all don't like each other. They can see it. They can feel it. Sometimes it's tangible. When 2 people can't stand each other, you just know. You can't pretend, you know. So if you can't work it out, I suggest you get out of that. Y'all need to like have serious talk with the kids, being like, look, mommy and daddy don't love each other anymore. We love you. And then you make sure you make their lives the best it can possibly be in that situation. But don't fool yourself into thinking that these kids don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, this happens in a lot of relationships. You know, we lose the fire, the passion, the love. I mean, that's why you have to like continuously, you know, work on being better with each other, you know, or take responsibility too. Like, what is going on with you that you have this dislike, resentment? Find out why you feel that way. Find out what's going on. What do you think you're lacking in your life that you're blaming it on your wife? What are you not doing? Or what were you not able to do because of having kids or because of you're married? Like whatever it is you're in your head about, figure that out and maybe figure it out together. And then the next thing you know, you guys start talking again. You rekindle that fire that you once had. And then that's what you want to show your kids. That's the best thing for them, is to see their mother and father, you know, in a happy relationship or as close to it as they possibly can be. But if you can't achieve that, make sure you're showing them as much love as you can, because kids aren't stupid, man. They're not stupid. They know. All right, here's one. He says, all right, this guy says, how do I find a connection with women when you don't know what you're looking for? Well, that's exactly how you find the connection. Because I'm not a believer of having a recipe, you know, like a huge recipe list. Like, yes, if you're like someone like, you know, there are certain like basic things you might want to have, like you want to be the same height, you know, whatever your things are, you might have some do's and don'ts and some unacceptable negatives on your list. But like, you don't necessarily need to know what you're looking for. That's the beauty of like connecting with someone, is like exploring what you're looking for, exploring by like sitting out, and that's what dating is supposed to be about. We've turned dating into swiping, and it's just instantly about gratification. It's about like, you know, hooking up with this person, or this person's attractive, and it all becomes about sex and the conquest of that, as opposed to like making a connection. Like you make a connection by, you know, you go out on dates, really talk to people, get off the stupid devices and actually talk on the phone, meet in person. And you talk to this person and you start to go, oh, you know, oh, you start talking, you bring up things, politics, religion, what, you know, even those hot button topics, you might find out that you have something in common with someone, or you might even find out like, it's like, hey, I don't like talking about this, and that person does, and you go, oh, we don't have the same interests, and you move on. Or you might find out like they have the same interests as you, or they're just interested in the things that they're interested in, the fact that you're interested in things. You could be into comic books and you know everything about them, and you're talking, and the girl might be like, wow, you're really a nerd, and I love that about this. You know, you don't know what is going to make it click by sitting on your ass. You can't just have that recipe of like looking through a dossier. You know, you can't have a file on every single person before you meet them, where you look, oh, you went to this school, you went to this, you did that, oh, you like this, you like that, and go, okay, it's not an eHarmony equation every single time. So I say you just got to get yourself out there and talk to people, you know, invest time in getting to know yourself and be open and vulnerable to letting people get to know you. And that's how you'll connect, in my humble opinion. This one's close to me because it says, how does it feel losing weight? Any advice for people who are struggling with their weight? I mean, I think everybody at some point is sort of struggling with their weight, right? You know, it's tough. I mean, this is a thing that we all deal with at all times. But, you know, you have to ask yourself, what's really bugging you? You know, it's like when people say, you know, they're struggling with their weight, I think it all boils down to we all want to look good naked. We all want to be at our best self, right? We just, you know, we think that there's some like expectation of beauty that we're like, I just want to look, when I take my shirt off, I want people to not be like, ugh, you know, I think that's how we feel about it. So, you know, what are we really struggling with is our own self-image and how we feel about ourselves. But yes, I mean, there is a certain thing about being healthy. You know, being a fat fuck is not healthy. So like all these people who are always like, you know, feel good about you. Like, no, what are you talking about? There's cholesterol. There's a lot of things in that. Obesity is real, man. I've said this a million times and I'll say it a million times more. Obesity is a killer. It kills people all the time. It leads to a lot of problems, diseases, inflammation. It's all these, like, inflammation leads to things like dementia and that kind of stuff. It's the reason why I started working out. It's because I'm thinking about what's going on with my mom, who is not, my mom's a very slender woman. So for me, I was like, damn, I need to like take care of my health at my age. I want to like be around 40 more years, you know? So I don't care about this, like, hey, feel good about you. Don't let people, no, fuck you. You know, you're doing people a disservice. You know, and it's always like the more left side too, you know? I can't stand that, man. This whole body positivity nonsense, man. Obesity is a killer. You know what obesity is? It's liberals' global warming. They just deny. They deny that obesity is a real thing and it should be stopped. It's just like global warming. You know what I mean? 99% of scientists and doctors say, hey, obesity is a killer. This is a real thing. But you dumb fucks want to be like, oh no, feel good about you. Like, it's like, no, let's get it together. So it's about what you need to focus on. You need to focus on, like, so eating healthier. Eating healthier doesn't mean everything's a salad. No, it's just eating healthier, meaning like portion control and, you know, exercising is not just good for losing weight. It's good for your brain. It's good for your health. Taking a walk. I mean, all these things they talk about this is what the doctor recommends. And I think that we as a society should be pushing that more than this whole fucking body positivity bullshit. So here we go. I got a video. This is how I really want people to ask their questions. You just send me your little video. You can send it on Instagram to ask your question, and then I'll just copy and paste it, and we'll put it on here. So here's our guy. I'm not sure what the guy's name is. I think on his profile it says Chance Gary, so that's who this is. So let's hear what he has to say.
What's up, Eric? So I've been seeing this girl for like a month now, and now that I'm with her, I have all of these other girls hitting me up on the DMs, like wanting to go on dates and all of these like wild texts and stuff like that. And I'm wondering, like, how the hell am I gonna stay like satisfied when I constantly have these new options coming? And like I know what it is to have no options, but now I have multiple, and I find myself like continuously jumping around. So I'm really want to just figure out how I can like, take it easy and like appreciate one without wanting another. So woo 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 woo.
And we got little woo-woos there from Chance or Gary or whatever the hell his name is. Okay, so I get this. Trust me, I actually can relate to this situation just because I was a guy, I had no options. I'm a late bloomer in life. Even when I was younger, I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was in my mid-20s. Okay, so I totally get it. You feel like you feel like you deserve like all of the so now I got to get out here in the dating pool and I got to date around and date all these people, because you always feel like you missing out. But you know what? Quality over quantity. Let me say it again. Quality over quantity. All right? Take time that you're seeing a girl, give it your best. Give it your all. Hey, if you're seeing multiple women and you haven't decided who, still be vulnerable and offer up your best until you figure out, you know what, this is the one I want to spend most of my time with. Because that's what will end up happening. Because sometimes you expend so much energy trying to stay away from this person because you're like, I'm getting too close to that person. So now you start expending this energy to not spend time with them. Just go with that. You're not letting yourself fully invest in the person that's in front of you. Get the best out of that situation, and if it's multiple, even do it with that. But you're going to find that that's going to be hard. But you can't always be thinking about what you don't have, because then you're going to look past what you do have. And always thinking that you have other opportunities, you're not living the fullest opportunity with the person that's in front of you. Being in a great relationship, it's hard work, but it also could be one of the most fulfilling things you've ever done. And if you don't feel like that with the person that you're with, it doesn't mean that you need to get out of it, but you have to allow yourself the chance to really get to know this person, really go all in, give it your all, the most, so you can see, hey, is this really it? Because then if you've done all that and it's just not working, well, then at least you can say, well, I did my very best with this. But if you're constantly looking at other things and looking at other people, like it's, that's such a small percentage. Like if you think about it, even like this sexual gratification that we constantly are looking for, that we think we're looking for when we're in the dating, it's such a small part of the time you spend with a person. It's an important part. It's a powerful part. It's something that like, touches you greatly, but overall time spent, you're going to spend more time just shooting the shit than you are having sex. You're going to spend more time. You're just going to spend more time doing the other things that are actually more important and valuable to being a well-rounded person than that time you spend in bed. Especially as you get to spend more time with that person. It's like the most sex you have is when you're just getting to know somebody. You like all that time you spend, this is great. But like, it's the true getting to know. It's the true, like, do you have the same interests and likes and those things that you share, those common interests and those times that you spend outside of the bedroom, those are the things that are going to be long lasting. So if you don't give yourself the opportunity to really delve in and explore those things, then what are you doing? You're doing a disservice to all those relationships. And don't be so damn insecure, because that's really what it is. Sometimes we always think like, is this the best I can do? And it's like, it doesn't even work like that. It's not about, is this the best I can do? It should be, I'm going to do my best with this situation. Do your best. It's not about, like, we always think like, there's somebody better out there for us. But what does that even mean when you really think about it? there's always some nonsense that people like, there's so many other like questions like this that I got, like, like this one guy sent a question. I'm not even going to put it up because it's so silly, just talking about like, I'm an ass man, and I'm realizing I want my girl's ass to be better, so should I ask her to do squats? And I'm thinking to myself, you already got with her. You already saw she had no ass. You were okay with it, and you started dating, and now you're getting bored or whatever, and you're finding things to find wrong with her, like, oh yeah, the ass ain't exactly what I want. Then why the hell did you get with her in the first place? You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. So what are you doing? It's just those kinds of things that, don't you remember that all the things about her that made you love her and like her and want to be with her, those things, they were so beyond her ass, but now you've forgotten those things because you're not doing that stuff, that fucking infatuation feeling. Once that starts to go away, now you're like, well, what am I left with? Well, that's the stuff you got to work on. So my man here, give the people that you have in your life, make sure you're giving them your best, for you, because that's what's going to be good for you. Get out there, do things, explore, have great experiences. It's like, why not take out one of these girls that you and really take her out, take her on a fantastic date, a date that you enjoy too. Do something you enjoy, and then you'll have that memory. At least you'll be like, man, I went on this great date one time, even if it's like that's it. But like, just if you're with this person and you're looking at her thinking, man, she ain't this one that hit me up on Tinder, maybe I should. No, then you're missing out on living in this moment, because you could still have this great moment and then later just be like, it wasn't enough, so I'm gonna move on. And then you could have another great moment. But if you're always thinking about what you don't have or what you could have, then you're not appreciating what's right in front of you. So I think you should start doing that. Appreciate what is right in front of you. All right, y'all. Short and sweet today. Well, still long, but we don't always have to go an hour. Listen, I really enjoy doing this. Yeah. So this is like, I'm rebranding my podcast. We're still riffing with Griffin, but I want to riff with you guys. I feel like I have some things to say. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to give you a thoughtful response, and I feel like this is a good approach, a good direction to go in, and I eventually want to keep it going further. I want to help you with your beefs. It's like if you have a situation, you guys, it's two of you, or and you can't get past something, and you need somebody to help you like mediate. Well, here I am. So I'm still going to take questions. I would love them to be video questions. If not, if you don't want to be on video, you just want to send them, I'm going to do the Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's at Erik Griffin. So make sure you follow me, because at the end of every week, I will put up the post saying like, okay, now it's time for questions. I try to answer some of them on Instagram too. I put a little text and I put it on my story, but I can't answer all of them. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to try to answer as many of them as I can. And some of the ones that really stick out to me are the ones I want to put on the podcast, like I did today. So, keep doing that. And if you're comfortable enough to send me video questions, please do that. But once again, I really appreciate you guys watching and listening to Riffin with Griffin. Especially you guys that have stuck through the solo episodes, and you've sent me a lot of great messages saying like, we love the solo episodes, we're with you. I really appreciate that, because I just get all in my head about everything. It's just like, I just want to know who my fans are, so I want to make sure I'm servicing them, and then the other people who want to become fans, or other people who are like, well, I'm actually a fan of this other person that I like when they're on your podcast, but other than that, I don't want to watch. All right, you know what? Fine. So the ones that want to be here all the time, I just want to make sure you guys are happy and serviced. And again, also remember that I game every week, every day. I actually game Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch. So make sure you guys check that out. That's Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch. And, keep listening. Make sure you subscribe. And, I really appreciate, we're you guys. We're coming up on 100 episodes. I can't even believe it. 100 episodes. That's more than a year, almost a year and a half's worth of stuff. So it's pretty cool during these crazy times. I'm still putting out the content. And once again, I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you next week.